Hi guys, welcome to Ongaku Concept. Today I wanted to talk about something that's really important to me. It's something that's made me a better musician in every area. It's made me a better guitar player, it's actually made me I can fake my way around a piano. I just understand music better because of it. And that thing is ear training. Ear training is developing this ability to be able to recognize notes and intervals and chords without needing a piano or a guitar or something like that to help you, just by ear, by just listening. There are two main ways that you can recognize notes by listening. The first is absolute pitch, which is also called perfect pitch. If you have perfect pitch, you can identify a note without any reference whatsoever. So if you play an F sharp, somebody with perfect pitch will be able to tell that that note is F sharp without needing any kind of a reference point at all. My friend Jacob Pritchett is a really good singer and musician, and he has perfect pitch. I talked to him about it a little bit recently, and he says that it's like hearing colors. When he hears a note, he associates that with a color. You look at the color red, you know that it's red. You don't need anything else to help you confirm that. You know what color it is. And somebody with perfect pitch feels the same way about different notes. Perfect pitch is a genetic thing. It's something that you can be born with. I believe that you can learn it, but it takes a lot of time and effort to be able to do so. If you've ever seen the anime K-On!, the lead guitarist Yui has perfect pitch, and she can tune her guitar without a tuner because of her ability to recognize notes by ear, and she can play by ear even though she doesn't really understand theory all that well. But perfect pitch is kind of specialized. You either have it or you don't, and it's not really something that can be learned very easily. But fortunately, there's something called relative pitch. Relative pitch is the ability to recognize notes by intervals. This is one reason why I think it's important to learn the scale degrees by numbers rather than necessarily memorizing the notes. When I started playing the guitar, I wanted to play all these songs from video games, but all the Guitar Tab websites I went to just didn't have anything good. So I was forced to figure out these songs on my own. And through that, I developed a really strong relative pitch. Again, I don't have perfect pitch. So in most cases, if you show me a song and ask me what key it's in, I won't be able to answer. But I do have a very strong relative pitch. So if you show me a song, I can identify whether a note is the first note of the scale, or the fourth note, or the seventh note, or something like that, just by the sound of it. The same goes with chords. I know a 4 chord when I hear it. I know the 1 chord when I hear it. I know the 6 chord when I hear it. I know a half-diminished 2 chord when I hear it. And this is all thanks to relative pitch. I can learn songs on my own because of it. I don't have to rely on sheet music anymore. It's also really great for playing your instrument. When I'm trying to improvise, I already know whether a note is going to sound good or not before I play it. I know what the note, a minor third above the note that I'm playing, is going to sound like. I think one of the most impactful ways that relative pitch can help you is in writing your own music. Now, whenever I have a song idea in my head, I already know what's going on theory-wise before I even sit down to write it out. Something I should note is that if you have perfect pitch, you do not necessarily have relative pitch automatically. Just because you know how to identify one note from another doesn't mean you recognize the sounds of intervals. And so even if you have perfect pitch, it's a very good idea to learn more about relative pitch and try strengthening that. So what about that whole ear training thing I was talking about? Well, I think one of the most important things that any musician can do is ear training. Learning to recognize intervals, learning to recognize what a major seventh sounds like, or what a minor second sounds like, or learning to recognize chords, learning to recognize what the 1 chord sounds like, what the 5 chord sounds like, learning to recognize what the flat 7 major 7 chord sounds like. There are a lot of courses online that you can take and help strengthen your ability to hear these things. But I think by far one of the best things you can do is listen to your favorite songs and try figuring them out. I would say start with melodies and start trying to hear the harmonies behind them and start learning to recognize major chords from minor chords, from diminished chords, and so on. And very important is to apply theory to this. My teacher taught me about the 7 chords in a key and borrowed chords and other techniques, and once I learned about that, I was able to start seeing them in songs that I transcribed, and suddenly I had names for all these things. When you apply theory and ear training with relative pitch together, everything becomes so much clearer. Go check out some of your favorite songs and figure out the melodies, figure out the chord progressions. You'll benefit hugely from it, and you will not regret it. This week's album of the week is Hokago Tea Time 2nd. This is HTT's second album from the second season of the anime K-On! I first heard about this album when I was really starting to get into theory, and it really improved my ear training. Analyzing these songs really made a huge jump in my ability to recognize chord progressions and melodies as I hear them. And there's a lot of great music on there. I can't say that there's any song on that album that I don't like. I mentioned my friend Jacob Pritchett earlier in this video, and he's also an app developer, and he created Brony Tunes for the musicians of the My Little Pony fan base to connect and get their music out there. Now, I'm not a fan of the show, but I've heard some of these songs, and these musicians are really, really talented. I recommend you go check out Andrew Stein, also known as Mando Pony. So that's all for this week. Check out ongakuconcept.com for sheet music and exclusive content, and I will see you guys next week.